Welcome back, Truth Seekers. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're about to expose the biggest cover ups in history. You've heard of Cyclops, Centaurs, and Minotaurs, and all those mythological monsters. But what if I told you they weren't just legends? What if they were real creatures? Distorted memories of a pre flood Nephilim hybrid experiment gone horribly wrong. Yeah, forget everything you've learned about Greek mythology because this right here is way deeper. And here's the kicker: Moses, the same guy who parted the Red Sea, went toe to toe with their descendants. See, when I first came across this, my jaw almost hit the floor. I had to literally rewind and listen to it again. Like, hold up. Moses did what? I thought Moses was the guy that carried the staff, threw the plagues at Egypt, and then wrote down the Ten Commandments. I never pictured him as the guy rolling up his sleeves and taking down giants. I mean, he literally led the Old Testament monster hunting squad. But that's exactly what happened. So today, we're breaking it all down. How did giants survive the flood? And why did God command Moses to wipe them all out? Buckle up, because this isn't just history. This is a war that never really ended. Before we go any further, have you ever heard of Moses fighting giants? And do you think these mythological creatures have some real history hidden behind them? I want to hear what you guys think, so drop in the comments. Alright, so the legendary monsters: Cyclops, Centaurs, Minotaurs, and all those creatures from history that you were taught over all the years that were just myths. You know, those same teachers also tried to convince us that the pyramids were just built with copper tools and elbow grease. I'm just saying, if we trust ancient cultures about their architecture, maybe we should take a second look at their stories about giant hybrid beings. So let's break it down. A cyclops. You remember the Cyclops, those big, dumb, one-eyed giants from Greek mythology? The guys who made Zeus's lightning bolts. Well, let's look at the facts. They were known to be massive builders and craftsmen, just like Nephilim in Genesis 6:4, who were mighty men of old. The book of Enoch says they were fallen angels, the Watchers, taught humans metallurgy and weapon making. 1 Enoch 8. Which is exactly what the Cyclops were known for, as they were known for making Zeus's lightning bolts. The Greek gods threw the Cyclops into Tartarus, just like 2 Peter 2:4. Says God cast the fallen angels into chains in Tartarus. A bunch of giant builders thrown into Tartarus. That's either a wild coincidence or the Greeks were retelling a real event in their own way. Do you think the Cyclops were real Nephilim or just myths? Comment it below. Next up, Centaurs. Half man, half horse. Known for their wild, violent, and lawless nature. I mean, these guys were basically Florida men of ancient Greece. But what if these crazy hybrid creatures weren't just fantasy? The Bible gives us a huge clue in Genesis 6:12. All flesh had corrupted its way on the earth. So look at that word. All flesh. That means something more than just humans were getting corrupted. Could these centaur or other hybrids be pre-flood genetic experiments? Drop a comment. What do y'all think? Do you think these centaurs were real or just another ancient way of explaining Nephilim hybrids? So, as I was telling y'all earlier about Moses and my jaw hitting the floor, let's talk about that real quick. Moses didn't just part the Red Sea, y'all. He went full-fledged monster hunter mode, like straight beast mode. If this was a movie, Moses would be somewhere between Gandalf and John Wick. Staff in one hand, sword in the other, just wrecking Nephilim. But here's what we actually know. King Og of Bashan, the last of Rephaim, Deuteronomy 3:11. He was the last Rephaim, a race of giants known for their immense size and strength. His bed was over 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. That's in Deuteronomy 3:11, which means Og himself must have been at least 10 to 12 feet tall. Bashan was literally called the land of the giants. Moses and his army, with God's power, completely wiped them out. Now here's the next one. Sihon, the Amorites, King of Sihon. Another Nephilim king. So who are the Amorites? Described as tall as cedar in Amos 2:9. The giving up of their children and corruption. One of the biggest threats to Israel. So what happened? Sihon refused peace and attacked Moses. Israel wiped them out. Moses wasn't just leading a nation. He was leading a divine war against Nephilim tribes. So when I realized Moses literally fought Nephilim, I had to stop and ask, why don't we hear more about this? If Moses fought giants, if Joshua fought Nephilim, if Jesus warned the days of Noah would return, what does this mean for us? Maybe this war never even ended. Maybe it's still happening, just in ways where we don't see it anymore. Maybe we're being conditioned to ignore it. Maybe we've gotten so distracted by everything around us, we just don't see it anymore. So next time, we're going to dig into the return of the Nephilim. Are they here now? Is modern science reviving Nephilim DNA? Is transhumanism the new Nephilim agenda? Are fallen spirits still influencing world leaders? Like, share, and comment if you're ready for the truth. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and as always, stay truthful.